and happy Friday to all. Welcome to the 11th episode of Ask BrandSpeak. I'm Erica from BrandSpeak Asia from the account management team. So before we get to our main talk today, I want to greet everyone who's joining us live here on Facebook and YouTube. All right. While you're here with us, if you haven't followed our social media accounts yet, you can look us up on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, which is at BrandSpeak Asia. And we're also offering a free 10-minute brand consultation. Just type in the comment section, I want 10, and one of our team members will get in touch with you. And joining me here today is the Unit Manager and Business Development Manager of BrandSpeak Asia, Ms. Denise Villanueva. Hi, Ms. Denise.
Hello, Erica. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi. All right. Me and the audience are very excited to hear you talk about virtual events checklist. But before we head on to our main session, I'm just gonna warm up everybody with an icebreaker. So yesterday we did this poll on our Instagram account, and 75% of answers said that they already have adjusted in doing virtual events and that they miss people than foods in-person event. So right now, we'll quickly play a this or that game, very similar to that poll that we did yesterday. So the mechanics are pretty simple. Just pick this or that on whatever flashes on the screen. So this is a surprise also for Miss Denise. Hindi niya alam.
Okay. All right.
Right. So
Go.
we want to invite our audience, of course, to answer also. Type your answers too in the comment section. So are you guys ready? Okay. So for our first question, are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm an early bird.
Really, yeah. And then the comment section, yeah, we're waiting for your answers also. Okay.
Okay.
Early bird,
This is the early
we can
bird.
see here Rose Rigo and Christina Crespo, which is an early bird also, Miss D. And
Go team
then
early birds.
Rafael is also an early bird. Hi, Rafael. While Sir Jerome is a night owl, more productive at night. Okay, so moving on with our next this or that. Would you rather be too busy or too bored?
I want to be productively too busy.
All right.
Yeah.
How about our audience? We're waiting for your answers. Would you rather be too busy or too bored? Miss Lay said too busy.
Of course.
Right. Okay. So the next one is it plants or books?
This
This is
is
what I'm saying.
hard.
Ayan, diyan ka mahirapan, Miss D. Which
Um,
one?
I'd rather I'd rather have books
Meron.
and books about plants also.
Pakasabay
Okay.
na.
Oo nga,
Okay.
pwede naman both.
Miss Iko rin, both.
Slay also is both.
Mhm. I don't have a green hand. They die. So you have to read na lang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need books first.
For the next one, okay. Would you rather work hard or play hard?
To be honest, work hard for me.
Mhm. Work
I'm that
work smart,
type.
Miss
No?
D.
Yeah, work smart. Di ba? That's what I always teach.
Wala sa choices, pero ayun.
Yeah.
Okay. And the people in the comment section, work hard or play hard?
Good job, guys.
More on work hard din. No?
Ikaw, Erica.
Miss Elena. Work hard, work hard.
True. That's true.
Okay.
Okay.
Work hard so I can pay. Okay. For the next question, is it Netflix or YouTube?
Depends, but it's Netflix right now for me.
Hmm. Are you into series right now, Miss D?
I'm not into series, but I'm looking forward to September. May series din akong inaabangan.
Really?
Yeah. I won't share.
Miss Lay to Netflix and
My
Rafael.
tops.
Alright, we're seeing YouTube also. Si Manay. Hi, Manay. And Sir Jerome.
Netflix.
Okay. For the next one, is it Google Meet or Zoom?
Zoom.
Definitely.
Zoom. Zoom.
How about our audience? YouTube for me, nagiging work.
So,
Zoom also. When
Zoom
you're doing
very.
presentations, diba?
Yeah, it's
More on
easier
Zoom.
to Zoom. That's true.
Okay. For the next one, we have big party or small gathering.
I'm the small gathering person because I want more intimate para at least
Mhm.
I could, ask how are they doing? Yeah, that I
Mhm.
could network better than like a big party. I'm more of that small gathering.
Mhm. The people in the comments also are more on small gathering. Miss
Of
Iko,
course,
even before the pandemic,
true.
small gathering na siya.
Miss Leia's
Correct.
party.
Alright. Yeah, for the last two questions, is it in-person events or virtual events?
In person, through and through. But of course, we have to, pivot.
Mhm.
And we know that the future really is headed towards that virtual events and hybrid before we even, allow people to do 100% in person. But based on my experience and how I weigh both things, if I will be to, I am to be asked, it's in person and
Alright.
find out later why.
Yes, definitely. Okay. In comments, I can see Manay then. In-person events. More na. How about the others? For me, in person also. But of course, just to be safe right now, and we had to pivot, as you said earlier, virtual events is also a go. Miss Iko is also in in-person events. Alright, so for the last question, since your answer is in-person events, I'm gonna ask you, what do you miss the most about it?
What do I miss the most? Of course, there are a lot of things that I miss the most about in-person events. Siguro just in the interest of time,
Mhm.
um, I would just give three very quickly. First, of course, what I miss is the synergy between people and our team. So, masaya talaga pag in person. Iba yung dynamics of the team if that's, being done in person. And of course, it's better pa rin to have warm bodies around you that you can network with, that you can easily, nudge and say, how are you doing? Or, just to talk about what they are into lately before the event and learn together. So that's one. The second would be the experience for sure. So
Mhm.
the experience includes, syempre, food, right? So food, and we are very much into dressing up the venue, and I enjoy that a lot also. And then siguro part of the experience are the performances. You get to be at the front row seat
Right.
of performances during the event. So that's basically what I miss most about talking about experience. And lastly, and I think the comment section, I hope with our teams in here might
Mhm.
explode, no? Will be the adrenaline rush. And not just that, adrenaline rush in heels. Yeah, so basically,
Boys pa rin.
yes, during the in-person events, you have to, in 1 second, you have to be at the backstage, coming right from the, sa tech booth, or sometimes you have to run on stage to pass on a cue or something, and sometimes also, in heels, you have to carry um a 4x4 panel of stage just to adjust everything. So I have experienced that, and that is, one of the fondest memories that I have. So with in-person events. So yeah, basically the synergy between the people, the experience, and the adrenaline rush, definitely.
Right, that's actually true, and I miss all of it too. But as we transition into doing digital, virtual events, people are having this misconception that it requires less planning. As an event manager, what's your take on this?
For me, the amount of planning in person, virtual or hybrid events really depends on your desired outcome. So it depends. But now, as we talk about planning and creating your virtual event checklist, and I hope you guys will be able to take down notes, and let's see in the comment section what you um, gather from here. I would say that the top item that has to be on your list is first, you have to establish your goals and objectives. That is very important. Setting goals and objectives will actually make planning your event much easier. Why? Because they define your desired end results and frame your event management strategy accordingly. So, just like in anything, right? If you have vague goals, you are doomed to failure. Or in terms of events, you can doom events to failure due to the lack of the precision and clarity that your goals deliver. So, you have to have concise and clear goals. For event planners, my tip is to remember the big picture always, and this can be really helpful since our minds as event planners are normally focused on a million little tasks and deadlines, right? So just like in life, diba, there is really a tendency to be rattled or stressed if you lose sight of the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. So just to elaborate on that further in a more practical sense, when you define your goals or objectives for your event, ask yourself, why are you having this event? So define them. Are you creating engagement to your target market or audience? Do you want to improve on your brand awareness? Or do you want to generate direct or indirect sales or revenue? So basically, the direct sales would be for a specific event. Of course, that's the deadline. But the indirect would be your product sales afterwards. And then, do you want to generate first party data, or of course you you want those who registered to your event will basically be part of your database already moving forward. So what are the key things that you want an attendee to walk away with? Ano ba yan? Is this the experience? Are these the learnings? Or how will you specifically measure your success? I have read this study. This has been done in the States, as I have not found anything yet in the Philippines, that um, there are 100 event organizers that were asked for a survey. And those 100 event planners cumulatively do 20,000 events annually. So, lahat na sila nun. And 45% of those respondents use total registration and attendance numbers to measure the success of online experience. So those are um, who are asking, do you want your event to achieve a tangible goal, such as, for example, attracting 500 attendees to that event? Also in that study, 24.9% measure the success of their event through attendee satisfaction. So that is going to be your pre or post event scoring based on the survey. So as you know, pre-event or even and most likely post-event, they pass out on survey questions, and as the surveys return to them, the event organizers, they measure their success according to the results. 14.8% will be focused on measuring the revenues as their success metric. And then the minority, as we pick up yet on digital or virtual events, 7.9% of those usually measure their event success through successful engagement, social engagement. So this is where digital marketing and digital engagements come in during the event. So in a nutshell, once you have decided on your goals and objectives as part of your, number one top in the list, make sure that your team is also on the same page in pursuing the same goal. So later we will be talking about, what goes into who goes to an event. So basically for now, you have to make sure that you are all aligned and on the same page.
All right. Thanks for sharing that, Misty. Of course, goals and objectives are really important in any event, be it in person, virtual, or hybrid. So we can see people engaging and sharing their takeaways. Like attendance is one way to measure success, and engagement is another. All right, and experience is one more thing. Okay, so just feel free to ask questions and we'll get to that later. And to those who just joined, make sure to follow us on our socials on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at BrandSpeak Asia. And a reminder also that we are offering a free 10-minute brand consultation. Just type in the comment section, I want 10, and one of our team members will get in touch with you after this episode. And going back and moving on to the next question, can you share with us how important branding and digital marketing are in planning for events?
All right. So this as brand speak sessions that you guys might have joined in for the past few weeks, or if this is gonna be your first time, we talk about all things branding and digital marketing here. But we always integrate those things in everything that we do, and that includes the virtual event management. So, which leads me that question to the second and third item that must be on your list. The second is create a carefully laid out marketing plan. All right. And the third will be with that plan, back it up with visuals that will attract people. Okay, so create a carefully laid out marketing plan and back it up with visuals that will attract people. The key word here is how you are going to attract people. One of the top considerations in event planning is answering these following questions. And we get this a lot when we work with clients or brands. They usually ask us, how can you encourage people to show up to the event that you are organizing? And you have to ask yourself that also. And how can you make sure that your attendees get the most out of your event once they arrive? You know, the staying power, especially during here doing virtual events, is very critical. And you have to know for yourself as an event planner what are those factors that will contribute for them to stay and, glean learnings or hit your objectives as mentioned in the first item on the list. So as you ask yourself these questions, this is where event promotion comes in, right? So big or small, you need to be aware of the budget allocated to your marketing efforts. That is very much practical. While constraints will set limits on certain things, they also show you where you can afford to get creative in your marketing plan. Go creative and crazy in everything that you're gonna do, as long as you, of course, you are mindful of the budget that you have allocated and make the most out of it. So you can start by deciding where to leverage on, especially if you're working on a budget. This is how you're gonna do it. How are you going to leverage on that? Identify your hooks. If you already have your program and speakers list, for example, see if you can hype on a hot topic or a relevant topic and let your audience engage with it through your social media posts. This is helpful in building the attraction and also the awareness about your upcoming event. So, the event starts before the actual thing. Or it could be that you have a renowned speaker, for example, a celebrity or a personality, or someone who is very much known in that specific topic. Use or collaborate with that person by attracting the attention of your target market. See how you could maximize his or her involvement to reach out from his own network Provide the speaker with your publication materials, of course, and just give out guidelines on the event details. For example, when it's gonna happen, what time is it gonna be, official event hashtag, of course, since you're already building awareness about the event and traction, or whatever it is that is mandatory as he or she promotes the event. So you may also, aside from the speakers, you may also highlight key messages such as the benefits of attending the event, testimonials even, or a video from previous event if this is an annual thing that is happening, or if it is a series of events. So add the highlights of your upcoming event, like opportunities to learn and connect with people, and discounts, of course, and what they can get from out of it through like early bird tickets, referral discounts, and group discounts even. So also promote your event in the right places. So as you know where to leverage on, you have to know also where to promote your event, and it should be in the right places. To properly identify your audience, sino ba yung mga pupunta, you need to define it through the attendee demographics, such as the age, you have to define it, gender, and industry that they belong to. You should also consider psychographics, such as usage of technology. Are they more of the people who are on their laptops and they can open your event publication materials or PubMats on their laptops? Are they more of the ones who usually scroll through their mobile phones? So define that. What are their interests and what motivates them to attend your events? That is very much important. Marketing your event is all about engaging your audiences. So you really have to set your communication tactics straight. Consider how to effectively inform people about your event. While there are great emailing systems, for example, like top of mind will be MailChimp, most of our clients, like especially corporate clients, usually ask, we provide assistance for them in providing them with EDM, so that those are direct mailers for their members or employees. That is all good. And it can also be effective if, for example, in a corporate setup, to combine the email with social media through public pages, if this is an open to all event, or closed groups if this is for your members or employees only, or your company's social media platform. So basically, this helps generate leads and interest for your event. Successful marketing for events relied on carefully laid out plans. So if you want to know more about it, on how to create naman compelling designs that translate to inquiries and registration to your events, what goes into an EDM or an event invitation, and your e-materials or electronic materials, you may check out the previous episodes about design tips and trends so that you can also align it carefully with your branding.
Right. Branding and digital marketing should always come and are necessary in events. So going back to the comments, Miss Karen commented, one event can still look creative and successful even with a limited budget. That's right. Just identify the hooks that will work best with your audience. Right.
True.
If you have any questions, just feel free to ask on the comment section and we'll answer it later. And to make this more exciting, I'm gonna ask our viewers, what is the most memorable event that you've been to and why? If you can share with us in the comment section, and then we'll get to that later. So for my last question for you, Miss Denise, how many people are needed when doing virtual events and what are their specific roles?
All right. So the fourth in our list is decide on who will be involved. Okay, especially during virtual events, we see that this is a leaner team. But as mentioned earlier, it really is dependent upon what are your goals and objectives. So people are the main driving force of successful events. That is a fact. So you have your next step is to collect expertise or their strengths and creative ideas to power your events by hiring a team of dedicated professionals. So they have to know and they have to be good at what they're doing. The best strategy that I can share with you is breaking the key event responsibilities into several groups and assigning them to special event committees. So, may it be in person, hybrid, or online events or virtual events, you have to have the right people manning those specific committees. So, these are just some examples of manpower lineup. First, you have to have, of course, your client liaison. If you are an agency, for example, managing events, this is very much needed. But if you are, you are working on an event for your own company, then basically you have to have someone, that point person, who oversees and knows everything that is happening. So, in case a C level or an executive asks what is going on, what are the updates about it, that person will be able to answer everything. Also, you have to have your own program director or program team, which is those who will be preparing for your program flows, managing the time or duration of each segment, and making sure that it is properly executed, what goes on screen at this specific time, which leads me to that the program team will be directly working with the technical team or your technical director. So basically, of course, meaning technical, he or she who is assigned to that post will be able to, have the knowledge on streaming, on using the platform that you are gonna use for that specific event based on your objectives. So, of course, part of that, the technical director or assistant technical director is to be able to troubleshoot whatever it is that could, happen during the event. Also, you have to have a team. This can also be segmented or can be lean. Those who will handle your stakeholders, meaning who will be directly briefing and talking to your speakers, who will attend to them. Sometimes this is hospitality team, that we call it hospitality team also, who takes care of the needs of the speakers pre-event and during the event, who will handle your sponsors, and who will also handle your talents. So talents are most likely your performers and those who have, special numbers or roles in the program. And since we're doing virtual, right? In person, this is technically what you call your ushers. But this during this time we're in, we can have transitioned to virtual events. You have to have your own engagers. Engagers are your those who echo what is happening or what is being discussed during the event. These are also the people who um, could facilitate your questions if it is an open to Q&A type of event. So these are also the ones who will bring the point across to your audience in terms of how the speaker has done it. So basically, engagers are very much, this is a fun job, right? Na you engage with attendees. And I am very much, excited to talk about this more. And by the way, we will be having a part two of this next week, is your social media team. One of the things that we will put in the list, which is included next week, is to share real time takeaways on your social media platforms. So I have already preempted that for next week, but we will talk more about that. So those are the specific and also the main skeleton structure of who will be, part of your working team as you organize your event.
All right. That was such a very informative discussion, Ms. Denise. Thank you.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are asking how we're doing events during the pandemic, and their checklist just answered it right. So before I do the takeaways, I'll go back to my question earlier. And what is the most memorable event that you've been to and why? And on our comment section, it's from Sebastian. My most memorable event would be APAPS, because that was my first event as a prod team. Right. If you can share also with us
Thank you,
the
Brad.
others. Yes. Okay. And Of course, to recap, first things first on the checklist are number one, establish your goals and objectives. Number two and three, create a carefully laid out marketing plan and back it up with visuals that will attract people. Number four, decide on who will be involved and aligned with your team so all of you will be on the same page. And as Miss Denise said earlier, we'll continue building on your virtual event checklist for the part two next week. All right, so stay tuned and again, make sure to follow us on our socials at BrandSpeak Asia. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Thank you, Miss
Thank you so
Denise.
much. Thank you so much and happy weekend. Stay
Yes,
safe.
happy weekend. Bye.